And welcome to another quick fire broadcast here from Digital Global Racing. This is about to be a Rookies MX5 race live from Lime Rock Park in the USA. It's 26 degrees in the air at the moment, and the wind is from the north at 1 metre per second and partly cloudy weather. So at this point in time, we'll hand over to my other partner in crime, Jason Beck. How you going, Jason?
Thank you, Wayne. I'm well, thanks, mate, on this beautiful afternoon here at Lime Rock Park. It's warm on the track, but the temperature looks like it might be bringing the track temperature down a little bit towards the end of the race, but the boys will still need to take care of their tyres in order to maximise grip. On the pad today, we have a lot of people from the South American continent here today, and we have a gentleman from Japan. Welcome from Japan. We'd like to see more people from other parts of the world join us on the service for a race. We have a couple of Australians and Jacob Zadreski from Central Eastern Europe, with Bella Hartmann representing the European continent today. As we watch Russell get around today, he's from Hispano-America, and in the Mazda there, the MX5s, pretty much laser scan to real life as the tracks are, so everything you see should be a fair representation of what happens in real life as far as telemetry and what it takes to get around these cars, virtual or not, at speed. As we watch Esprez get around, his nice paint job on that one, as he finds the right line there to get it through that very tricky little chicane, or S-bend if you like. He heads up to the cones where you've got to make a sharp left-hand turn into this equally tricky, if not more tricky, section. If you get that wrong, it could be all wrong. If you get it right, you're all right, as they say. As he heads up towards the final few turns, heading down to the main straight. He is, in fact, from Iberia, the Iberian Peninsula, Spain or Italy, or more Spain, isn't it? And southern France, I believe. So nice to see Espes join us in this particularly nice looking car. He's rated as the fourth driver, which is a testament to his previous skill and attributes of driving these things. Lucas is Mr. Russell is our top driver, also from Hispano-America, and he's in the Martini car, and he is our number one driver today, which says that he has been more successful in his driving career to date than the other drivers today.
Yeah,
this is the rookie class. Sorry, Wayne?
No, I was just going to chime in and give you a quick break there and say we've got Furi here now on screen, still looking to post a time. We've also got Yanaz in car 9 looking to post a time still. We have one other driver, James Bell, that is yet to post any time. With 3 minutes 40 to go, they've still got time to do probably 2, maybe 3 laps. Yeah, they get 3 laps in.
I note that Espes has peaked at the qualifying time so far with a 101.618, which is ahead of the race favourite Russell at 101.8, and Russell should be able to get a second lap in to improve on that before the clock runs down. We do have another 3 minutes and 20 seconds, I think, Wayne. So they should be able to complete their laps as long as they don't have any serious incidents or get off tracks. And off track will disqualify that time for that lap.
We've got Hartmann still going to here, currently in 5th place on a 103.09, looking to try and better that. We just come to join him at the end of his second lap, I believe it'll be. We'll see what he's got for us. As we see Yanaz pop into 7th place on a 102.3. See what Hartmann's got here as he drifts her through that last corner. It's a ripping corner in these little cars.
They are an interesting car to drive. They're probably closer to the road car than any other car that I've seen on the series, as in what they've done to them isn't too aside from some suspension and some engine work, they are still representative, more or less, of what you can buy and drive around to the shops if you wanted to. I think in Australia, last I heard, was about $55,000 will buy you an MX5 race car and gain you entry of sort of fees to a racetrack and do this for real. They're an exciting sport, they're worldwide, and I believe Laguna Seca is the home ground for them, Wayne, out there.
As far as I understand, that's correct, but I've also heard that Laguna Seca is under a little bit of a threat of being closed because of urban sprawl, unfortunately. So
it is unfortunate to hear. It happens. Same thing happened on the Gold Coast, a place that you and I are both familiar with the Surfers Paradise Raceway, now not in operation, basically due to that over the years. I lived there as a child, as a young man, and I enjoyed listening to it as it sprawled. The sound echoed across the Gold Coast. It was an awesome sound to wake up to or fall asleep to. As we watch Bowery fly down the main straight, cross the line in a time of 1:02.298, which would put him in 7th position behind Zendricki, Hartman, Pineda, Poyol, Russell and Esprez. Still maintains the top position with a time of 1:01.618. So it's a great drive. He's listed his car form, his ranking, so it'll be interesting to see how Russell deals with this threat. Pipio Poyol is not too far behind at all, a matter of 100th of a second or slightly more from Russell, so looking over his shoulder, and it should get interesting as we head into the last 30 seconds of qualifying. Temperature today has remained at 26 degrees in the air. It's partly cloudy and the track is still 39 degrees Celsius, so not a lot of movement going on so fast, but we might see some stability in that regard. And we're down to the last few seconds of qualifying. We might hand over to Wayne to run you through the results.
Yeah, so apologies for everyone seeing my snipping tool software there for a moment. I'm the consummate professional, as we all know. So we have, well, we'll actually just wait until they start to take the grid and we will introduce the drivers at the same time.
It won't be long now, it's just the timer. Here we go.
Okay, so we have
Espez, car number 4.
So we have Espez in first place. We have Russell starting from second place. We have Pippo Fayoel in the number 3 car out of third. We have Enzo Pineda in the 8 car out of fourth. We have Bella Hartman out of 5th. Jacob Zedzeki in the 7 machine out of 6. There he is, making sure his steering wheel works. We have Juan Yanez yet to take the track. Yet to grid up, but he's out of 8. We have Santi Freen in the 2 car out of 9. Where are we? There's Santi right there. And then rounding out your top 10 is Hikaj Hikau in the 12 car. He's actually the lowest ranked car as we
they take
go.
off. As they head down the main straight into D1, we watch Espez take his machine through the first turn ahead of the rest of the pack, followed by... I'll have to just fix up my timing string for a moment, folks.
Okay, so pretty clean looking there. We've got Russell dropped back to 3rd place off the start. Bella Hartman's had a good one, but there goes, is it Furi? Yes, it was. We might just
he's had a
go
bit
back
of an
and...
He's come off track. He's car 5, so he might have got a tap or...
We'll just get a replay of that start and see if we can see what's happened.
Oh, he's got a... He's been,
Yeah, we'll just cut
something's
back
happened there,
again.
Wayne,
Sorry,
for
mate.
sure.
Yeah, we'll just cut back there again because of my fantastic directing skills.
There we go. He's simply
again.
lost it, I think. He's been a little bit too aggressive coming out of the corner, and he's just lost the tail end of the car, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe tap the brakes a little bit there. Thankfully, he's gone around on his own. No harm, no foul.
Nobody was interfered with during
We see the 6 car of John. Yeah, we see the 6 car of John D. Barry there, having a bit of a muck up as well in behind him as we come back to the live pictures. And we ride now with the top 3.
And then number 2, sorry, in position 3. Who's in position 2 at the moment? Yes, Russell has made a pass and regained the 2nd position from his starting grid. Maybe looking to try and put some pressure. Oh, as we watch Panetta take a bit of a snake's eye through that. Had to really thread the needle when the thread was sideways or something, but he came out of it and he's still there up with them in touch as they come through the sweeper down onto the main straight. And we watch Espez get his car. Oh, it looks like that Pandita is indeed. We've had a big incident. He's come out in the middle of the track. He's held it straight. He's keeping it still. The others have managed to get around him.
And he's
you really have to pay attention to your line through that, or it can go wrong, and very wrong at high speed.
And he's taken a reset there, so I might just
he's back to the pits.
See if we can get a better look at that one on the replay. Go back again, another 10 by the looks of it.
Here he comes down into the sweeper. He just catches the grass
way
there.
Into the grass, way into
yes,
the
he tried, and he just must have touched the brakes or hit the accelerator enough to upset the car. And unfortunately, that's what's going to happen as he waits for his time in the pits to end, and perhaps in need of some urgent repairs to join the race. In position 2, we have Russell still chasing down our leader Espez. He's hot on his tail, as you can see. Coming down into turn 1, this should be interesting. Espez will have to use his brakes wisely and his tyres. Think about the longevity of this race with this man hunting him down.
So this is the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th here, riding currently with Zadecki in the middle of that. There's quite a nice little battle going on here, as you can see. 3 tenths up and 2 tenths behind him. So they're keeping each other honest there.
They are indeed, as they snake through and chase down car 11 in Hartman, who's currently enjoying a little free space in 3rd position as we watch the boys take an interesting line. Unfortunately, somebody's going to get a time penalty out of that, and he chooses to take it immediately and takes out, or almost takes out, Zadrenski. Yes. But he manages to push on through. Now, you've got to say that have to have a look at that and see who was supposed to give way. I believe Wayne in the road that the car in the lead gets.
Well, that all started back coming onto the straight when car 9 ran a bit wide and had a bit of a waggle. So then you can see that slowed down car 9 in Zadecki, and car 2 and 3 got a run on him, but then had to overshoot the chicane. And
Zadecki's car 2 realistically had no place
and
trying to make a move there.
Yeah, I don't know. These cars are pretty narrow, but Zadecki certainly should have been lifting for him there, and he couldn't be bothered. So that's probably protestable. That's almost protestable in my book, but the stewards
we'll leave that up to the judges.
Well, the stewards would see that as a racing incident, I know from previous experience. Yes.
As we watch Espez come down to the left-hand sweeper, sorry, the right-hand sweeper, onto the main straight, and he's got a little small gap now. He's opened up probably another 0.2 of a second to Russell, maybe even half a second by the look of that. As they come down into this right-hander, it's a double apex, triple apex almost. As you come around, you have to set yourself up for this set of turns here as they do. Get through as quick as possible without losing grip is the constant battle. Spurs is running a good race. His last lap was 101.5, which was a nice healthy pace to be going at. Quite close to his qualifying time. and with Russell on his tail. As we watch them come around for this lap, we can really see the way these cars are moving on the ripple strips.
Oh.
He's got onto the grass a little bit there, but he's managed to keep it straight and on the level. As he really takes a little bit too much of that curve, upset the car, and see we drifted a little wide and risked that grassy section out to the left. As we watch Russell bear down into this great track. It's an interesting track. It's got a lot of bumps, doesn't it, Wayne? This one is really a case of the line is the line. Outside of that, you could be in trouble, especially at this speed. There's not a lot of room for error.
Yeah,
These cars have got the suspension that can take it, more so than an F1 car, I'd say.
a lot of it is for single lane, but it's a very technical track.
Yes, it is.
Even though it's a short lap, I mean a GT3's busting like a 30-second time around here. It comes at you pretty quick. Comes at you pretty thick and fast. Does it around this joint, so yeah, it can be quite challenging in some of the faster race cars, but it's ideal for these little things and learning the balance and learning good apexes and good racecraft.
Yes, these cars are all about learning the balance and racecraft of racing. These are the entry level, the iRacing service. So you pay your monthly subscription, you get this for free. Well, included, I should say. As we watch Zadreski, our European member, coming down the main straight, heading into, he's in position 5, which is not a bad position to be in, considering he started coming into this race as the 7th listed driver. He's improved that by 2, so he'll look forward to some good points if he can maintain his position or even improve. And Russell is still chasing down Espes, and he's still keeping in touch with him, possibly conserving his tyres, waiting for his moment, waiting until Espes possibly makes a mistake, which is usually the case with these top-level drivers. There's not a lot of passing going on unless somebody makes a real error or somebody comes up with a real...
He's got a run on him now.
Big move now on the inside. Looks like he's taken him. It's a fantastic little drive there. Might have watched this car get a little upset, so he took advantage of that and dove down the inside and held his line right on the inside of that ripple strip and hooked it around down on the straight as he comes out into the lead.
Espes actually put a wheel into the grass, Jace, on the way through to the last turn there, so that gave Russell a run on him.
As I was just talking about, there was the mistake he was waiting for, and he dived on it. Being super aware of the situation at hand and dealing with it appropriately, he has done that, and he is giving a bit of demonstration as he comes into this little chicane. Handles that very nicely, as you'd expect, and Espes is really up there with him too. He's not going to give up this fight. I don't see him giving it away. He's certainly right on him now, taking a beautiful line through that. Let's see how they go through this big left-hander. You can see how fast they are going when the cars slightly drift like that. The boys managed to maintain the integrity and continue down the straight and bust times. 101s. They're in the 101s still. They've got to be aware that their tyres will start going soon and come down to that at the end of the race. We're just a little bit over halfway, I believe, Wayne.
Yeah, just hit halfway, mate. 10 laps to go. We're currently riding with a new battle pack foreman here, 4 tenths with Bell here in car 10. He's got 4 tenths to catch up to Santi Farine in car 2.
He may have, just by the look of the quick over there, he may have just lost that position. He was listed as car 6 previous lap, and now he's in 7th place. If he's watched somebody's gone off track, did I note there, Wayne?
Yeah, I think that may have been John Barry, maybe, in the 6 car.
Oh, Don Barry was in 8th position, and we'll see where he ends up after that. That's unfortunate. Nobody likes to see incidences like that where cars go off track and pretty much can knock themselves out of the race as a result. But he can get back in there and finish the race, and hopefully he won't come last, or he can even maybe improve depending on what happens.
Got an issue there with Espes.
Espes looks to have got some damage.
We'll get a replay going here and see if we can see what's happened.
He certainly has. Oh, he's definitely lost it. He's gone into the wall hard. We don't know if we'll see him back on track.
He'll be back with a fast repair. You get 1 fast repair in these rookie races. as he comes in to
We're
take
looking
it.
forward to that, but I think he can... Pulls up, and off he goes again.
And
That's
off
what
he
you call a
goes.
fast repair. The F1 boys are looking at that going, how do we do that? Well, they pretty much nearly do. In the real world, the F1 guys, it's not far off that, and that is amazing to watch.
So that leaves Russell with a 6.4 second gap back to Bella Hartman in second place.
Which is a handicap in any sport, I'd imagine. As we watch Hartman come around this tricky right-hander. Keeps it off the grass, as do the following two drivers. He's doing 180 kilometres an hour, 185 when he crosses the line, a time of 1:02.399. What's the conversion? That's about 90... Oh, it's a little over 100 miles, 110 miles an hour or so, 110?
Be somewhere around the 100 mark, I guess, yeah.
As we watch Russell now take command of this race, and short of having unforeseen incidences, he should see himself on the podium. He's catching a lot of curb. He comes into the right-hander before the downward slope into that terrifying right-hand sweeper. Right here, he's got to keep that wheel as close to that curb without really riding it. If you ride that to bumps, you can upset the car. As we take the driver's view into the right-hander, we might just let you watch a lap with our race leader.
The biggest part with this part of the sector of the track is not to get sucked into the left-hand side out there where he's just gone through, and then not get sucked into good drive off here, because it's all about making sure you get good drive through here for the straight. And a lot of people will overcook that corner because they're trying to get going too quick.
As we come into this tricky little chicane, you'll notice that he's very smooth. He's got his braking points worked out. That comes down to practice.
Certainly does, certainly does. You don't want to take too much of that curb just gone, or this curb. You can use this one a bit, but as you can see, it unsettles the car. You've got a lot more room to move coming off that last turn though.
As he crosses a line at 186 an hour and posts a time of 102 flat. So he got some curve there, doesn't seem to upset the car too much. As we have an off-track, car 6, Barry. He started, he's lost hold of position so far. Hopefully he won't interfere too much with that. We go to replay.
Just
So he's really taking an inside line there. He's heavily under the brakes. Managed to keep in front of car 3. Hopefully there's no interference here.
He's made a move on car 3, I would expect. He's lost and then cooked it off. Yes, straight into the tyres, the poor kid. That was that would have been fun while it lasted, I guess.
Yeah. As we catch up with Foyle in position 9, who I don't believe interfered with him at all.
No. So 6 laps to go in this quick-fire race at Lime Rock Park for the rookie boys.
Yeah, Foyle is listed as car 3, which means he might lose some points out of this if he doesn't get a scurry on. I believe he's a fair way back on the pack, and I don't see him improving his position anytime soon, short of any unforeseen. As we watch the action, the boys really started to bunch up now, and here we go, another off track.
That was a back marker come 6. Flying off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's John Barry again, so it's the pressure's getting the better of him.
As we watch.
That's not for position, that's car 8 a lap down.
And we're watching car 9, Yanez. He's in position 3 at the moment. He's in front of... Car behind him, Zadrinsky's in 4th position, chasing him down, and behind him would be Freen, Santi Freen. As the 3 of them head down into this section, which is... It's interesting view, that one, to watch the Mazda behind and the work of the... As they cop a little bit of the curb, they manage to keep it on the tarmac. They head down to the main straight. He's got quite a wiggle on across the line. By my guess, around about 186 kilometres an hour, 187 maybe. And he's taken it a little bit wide. He's trying to set up for this next corner. See if he can make a move by the look of it. He's backed off a little bit. He knows the treachery of this section.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're a lap down too, you don't really want to push through on the car unless you know that you're definitely quicker. You really, it's good. It's good race etiquette to sit there if you know you're not going to leave him. If you're going to hold him up a bit, then it's good etiquette to sit behind.
I didn't realise his car 8 is in fact a lap down, is he?
Certainly is, my friend. Well, he's the first one a lap down.
Then he would do well to stay out of trouble and leave the leader cars to their business. In other words, just drive your normal line, and it's a job of the leaders to get around you. As he makes a move, it really looks like he wants that place on the track back. As we watch Hartman take down into, it's a beautiful shot there, watching the car move into that corner under brakes, under all sorts of pressures.
We're 4 laps to go in the race. Russell's jumped ahead now to a 10.5 second lead. So
he's doing well.
Kid's just cruising now that he's now that he's held Espes off. He's really cruising quite well. No one's come near him since Espes went off the track earlier.
As long as he maintains his lines and doesn't fall victim to complacency, he should be all right. He just needs to concentrate, and it's never in the bag until you cross the final line. So don't take anything for granted in this sport.
It certainly is.
You in Australia, kangaroos can jump out in the middle of the track at any given time. As we watched the at Bathurst this year, had a few kangaroos leading the pack out for the warm-up roundup, I remember.
Yep.
Up there with a Mercedes-Benz and such.
Yeah, kangaroo safety car, I think they wanted to call it. Yep.
That's what was it.
So we're 3 laps to go in this quick fire at Lime Rock Park, and the order currently is Russell in first place, Hartman in second, Yanez in third, Zadeski in fourth, and rounding out the top 5 is Farine in car 2.
Yes, it's been an interesting race. We've had a few incidences. We've had the biggest incident really happened at the front of the pack when we lost our Espes, who was chasing back the lead that he had started with, and our current race leader took it from him, and in the fight back he unfortunately lost it and sent his car careering into a wall. Thanks to a quick repair available here, he was able to rejoin the pack very quickly, but unfortunately lost all of that momentum and is way back in the pack as we speak, currently in 7th position. As we watch, Yanez, who's in 3rd position, trying to hold on to his lead. He's threatened by Zajeski, who really wants to have 3rd place. He'd love to be on the podium today, and he's certainly got the coloured car to try. As we know, red cars go faster, and I honestly believe that some people honestly believe that. Whether it's true or not remains for future history to tell us. As we watch Yanez snake through that section, heading up to this perilous corner on the left, as they set up for it. You can catch a fair bit of curve there, Wayne. The next one you really have to watch.
Yeah, the next one's the one that you want to catch the curb on. The road's actually a little narrower on that second last turn, so particularly in a bigger car or a quicker car, it can really run out of road quite quickly there if you catch a curb. As we hit the final lap, come back to our leader.
Certainly not letting him go, as we watch Russell take a fair bit of meat off that curb. Doesn't upset the car too much and continues his track towards the winner's circle. Takes this beautiful set. Wonder if we can go back and have a look at the battle between Hartman and Yanez.
Mate, that's actually a lap down car in Pineda sitting behind him.
Oh, right. Well, I hope it doesn't upset him at all. Like, it is confusing for me, sorry.
You're right.
Sometimes I don't have enough information.
He is pushing, Yanez is getting pushed through to Bella Hartman though. That gap's closed to 1.1 seconds to Hartman, but I don't think he's going to make it as they come over the line.
No, he's not going to make it unless there's an incident here. And he manages to, he gets pushed out rather wide, but he holds onto it. He's certainly been pushed along, hasn't he?
Yep, so...
In second place, Hartman.
Russell in first, Hartman second, Yanez in third as they start to pull up. Zerdesky is going to take fourth. Freen.
It's a great drive by Zerdesky.
Taking fifth.
Put pressure on.
And Espes back into sixth, which is a pretty decent recovery for the young man.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not bad a recovery at all.
Car 10, James Bell in seventh. And just coming around to the last turn, the last of the unlapped cars is Fayoil.
Fayoil, thank you, Wayne.
Maybe.
Some of these names are a bit tricky. As Australians, we just go with whatever phonetically looks like it might be right.
That's exactly it. So, that's the race. Let's get some standings up for you guys, as I still haven't fixed this thing up properly. We get no title, but that's the race standings. So, we had Lucas Russell in first, Bella Hartman in second, Juan Yanez in third, Jacob Zerdesky in fourth, Santi Freen in fifth, Pablo Espes in sixth, James Bell in seventh, Pippo Fayoel in eighth, Enzo Pineda in ninth, and rounding out the top 10 was Andreas Furi. And then we had John D. Barry and Hikaj Pikal that looked like they finished 5 laps down, so they may have given up or just had a bit of extra repair time.
Yeah, Pico is actually 13 laps down by my book, so he got out of it early.
Yes, sorry, 7 and 13. Yep, 7 and 13.
So
my
I'll tell you what,
apologies.
Mr. Hartman will be perfectly happy with his position. He came in as the 11th rated rider and take-out driver, and as the take-out second spot will certainly give him some valuable points in the championship of the Rookie Series of the MX5.
Yeah, so that was another quick fire Rookies Lime Rock race in the MX5s, brought to you by Digital Global Racing. As we've said a few times before, you can find us on Facebook, Mixer and Twitch. And feel free to drop into our website, digitalglobalracing.com, to find out what we're all about. Donate if you think we're worth it, or buy some merch if you think we're worth it. Of course we're worth it. Alright, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed that. We'll see you again shortly for a rallycross race. So he's had some kind of an incident or damage there, you would expect, being that these are a short race. You don't actually do a pit stop or be required to. As we see Ratchford take a mad one on Thomas Pugh, and we'll see there if we head back that Thomas just really got that sideways on the way out of there.